Alright Shove It Squad, today's Ring of the Hawk Season 5 episode has been a long time coming. So apologies to Eddie A who requested this on Patreon a while ago. If you want to make the Hawk talk, sign up today. We crowned a new champion last time out, but I doubt we'll see a new one today. Ring of the Hawk is of course the show where we watch back a wrestler's short run with a company, 30 matches or less, and at the end we shove them a final grade to see if they can do the J.O.B to the HAWK. And of course, if you know a wrestler who could do the J.O.B to the HAWK, shove their name down in the comments, Jack! Okay, it's WWE Eric Young. Will this be a steaming pile of cow dung? Eric first signed for the WWE in 2016. He stuck around with TNA for as long as he could, but the show had turned into a shell of its former self. He had managed to shed the comedy gimmicks from TNA and was now a serious man who had won the TNA World Heavyweight title. I personally found it really hard to look past his decade of comedy and take him seriously, so we'll have to see if today's video helps him. Over on NXT, he was the leader of the faction Sanity. He wrestled a lot on NXT and it wouldn't actually qualify for Ring of the Hawk, but in April 2018 the faction were drafted to Smackdown and attacked the Usos. Sanity consisted of Killian Dane, a fat bearded man, and Alexander Wolf, a man allergic to sun, and he had a really bad haircut. So Eric seems to be a dark, crazy heel. Match 1, Smackdown, US title match. Jeff Hardy, the champion, issues an open challenge which is answered by Eric Young. This feels like a TNA match. Eric charges at him like a pit bull, which impresses his little friends at ringside. Within seconds, this match turns into a mess. Young is doing some typical Eric Young offense when Jeff tries to catch him with a twist of fate, but he uses the wrong arm, so switches and then Young just falls to the floor. Eric leaves the ring to avoid a swanton bomb. We come back from an advert to see Eric Young is on top now. He chokes Jeff while sat on the top rope. Eric seems to have zoned in on his neck as he tries to twist it off. Jeff attempts to escape a submission, but he's thrown to the mat. Another Jeff Hardy comeback is stopped when he's whipped into the corner. Jeff then manages a dodge in the corner and rolls up EY, who kicks out and beheads Hardy. Eric goes back to trying submissions and it isn't working. Jeff hits a jawbreaker. The pace quickens and Jeff hits an inverted atomic drop into the leg drop to the nutsack and boots to the face. He tries the twist of fate again, which still doesn't work, and they both smack each other down. The Usos fight with Eric's friends on the outside. Jey Uso also spears Eric Young, which causes the ref to throw out the match. This is apparently what Sanity wanted, to cause chaos. This match was slow and it didn't have any interesting moves, and the botch at the start took me out of it. It's an S, not a good start. Due to all the morons at ringside, they decide to restart the match, but this time, match 2, 6-man tag. Sanity versus Jeff Hardy and the Usos. Eric joins this one with a dive after his Wolf partner hit a gutbuster. And it's back to the same submission from EY, this time on Jey Uso. Eric tags Killian Dane. Wolf looks like Ludwig Borga without steroids. Young isn't doing much in this match if you couldn't tell. He does break up a pin attempt with a diving elbow, but they quickly get rid of him. The Usos clear the ring and hit dives. Jeff Hardy puts away the Wolf with a swanton bomb. This is a horrible start. 2 bad matches from Eric Young's point of view. He looks off the pace and out of ideas. Another S.
Man.
Match 3, 10-man tag. The New Day team up with Team Hell No to take on Sanity and the Bludgeon Brothers. This one got me thinking. What's the point in Sanity when they have the Bludgeon Brothers who are bigger and badder? Other than that, they look like the same people. I didn't see Eric Young for ages until Xavier Woods dived off the top to knock Eric off the ring apron. It's a distraction which works for the Hills. God, this match is so boring from Eric Young's point of view. Young eventually forces his way into the match, but unfortunately Daniel Bryan has just got a hot tag and he's screwed. Young just can't get his hands on Bryan, who strikes him multiple times and kicks Eric's head off in the corner. Bryan hits Young with a Frankensteiner, it's not looking good. Young manages to counter the final yes kick into a roll-up, which Bryan almost transitions into the yes lock, which is broken up. Everybody pours into the ring and hits finishers. Eric doesn't hit one, and he wakes up and turns around into a Daniel Bryan knee for the 3. This is an appalling start. He looks like the scruffiest jobber of all time. It's yet another S.
Ow, my ass!
3 matches in, and you would still have no idea what this guy's even capable of. Match 4, Extreme Rules 2018 Kickoff Show, Tables match. I wouldn't normally bother with kickoff shows, but this is a short run, so shove it. It's the New Day taking on Sanity. Young is launched out the ring straight away like a piece of trash. They ain't hanging about here and the New Day already have a table set up. Moments later, Young smacks at his partner by mistake. Big E throws him out the ring again and Eric struggles to stay on the ring apron. At least Sanity manages to catch him with a pair of knees. Young comes back into the ring with a diving elbow drop, but he wastes valuable time gorming out. Sanity try to put Big E through a table but can't manage it, and the other members of the New Day send them out the ring and smash them with a couple of flip dives. Sanity attempt to take out Kingston on the top but fail when they get drop kicked into a double powerbomb. That was nice. Once again, Killian Dane has to come to Eric Young's rescue. He is the real standout of this Sanity team. Wolf and Kofi fart on the ring apron with Kofi dangling over the table. Young just suddenly decides to dive him through the table and it's over. Wow, I can't believe he actually won. It's about time. There still wasn't much to see here and he's completely overshadowed by Killian Dane. Young doesn't seem like much of a threat. It's a D. Match 5, Smackdown. Kofi Kingston with the New Day versus Eric Young with Sanity. It doesn't start well for Young as he catches a big time dropkick. Young comes back with clubbing blows. Like a moron, he runs and Kofi sweeps his legs out. Kofi springboards back into the ring with a double axe and clears Eric from the ring. After a long period of Kofi dominance, Eric manages to sweep his legs out. Young clubs him on the ring apron and stomps him for good measure. He decapitates Kofi against the ropes. The neck-related offense continues with a neck breaker. Kofi tries a comeback but can't do it as Young hits a big knee to the gut. It doesn't help as Kofi hits a bunch of strikes and the New Day boom drop. Young does manage to duck the Trouble in Paradise kick and almost gets a roll-up win. Eric keeps the good times rolling as he rolls out the ring onto the apron, which does get a nice pop from the crowd, but it doesn't help him because Kofi throws him off the top for a 2. Eric dumps in his knickers and bails to the ring, but he's not safe there either as Kofi dies on Sanity. Kingston quickly hits the SOS back in the ring for another 2. Eric can't mount an attack now and he gets kicked time and time again. The Sanity stop Kingston from diving. He eventually flies into the ring with a springboard but misses. He gets a 2 on a roll-up before Xavier Woods is thrown into his head. Eric Young beats Kingston with a wheelbarrow neckbreaker. A big win and the best match so far, it's a C. That win was nice, but no match on the next shows, so that's not going to help Eric's momentum. Match 6, Smackdown, 6-man tag, the New Day versus Sanity again. They don't even get a damn entrance. Young starts out with Big E. He doesn't have the strength to deal with him. Young kicks him in the gut and screams in his face. Whatever Young was planning doesn't work as he's caught with a belly-to-belly. Kofi Kingston is in now with an assisted back senton for a 2. Young's dying in there, so Wolf assists Young, sending Kofi from the ring. The big boys take control, and as usual they completely overshadow Young. Woods kicks Young off the apron even though he wasn't causing any harm. Woods has Wolf beaten when Young flies in with an elbow drop, breaking up the pin. Eric Young has the tag now and hits a slam into his partner's knees. Just a 2, but it's nice to see some teamwork. Big E returns to the match and throws Eric Young with a belly-to-belly. They spill out the ring where Kofi hits Sanity with a big dive. The New Day beat Killian with up, down, down. Young was a bit more involved here, but this just isn't going well. What was the point in the previous 2 matches? It's a D. Match 7, Smackdown. 3 shows later, triple threat tag match. The Usos versus Sanity versus Rusev Day. Sanity don't start, but they join the match when Killian Dane forces his way in. He hits a gutbuster as Young dives down on top of Jey Uso. It's pretty much all just Killian Dane, and maybe that's the point in this team. After a huge Killian Dane dropkick, Eric has the tag and Gorm's out, deciding what to do next. He eventually decides to hit an elbow drop off the apron to the floor. Jimmy does get the tag after the break and he kicks Eric's head off. Eric slips out of a Samoan drop as Rusev makes a blind tag and Jimmy crashes into the ropes. Rusev hits 2 super kicks to Eric and a spear in the corner, followed by a spinning heel kick. Rusev misses his next kick on Eric as Jey Uso makes a blind tag. Eric hits his wacky neckbreaker to Rusev just as Jey crashes on top of him with a splash. This is a fun match, but everybody's down now. Jey is up first and he dives on Sanity. Rusev also looks to dive when Eric Young rolls him up. Nope, still not the 3. Eric is busy arguing with Aiden English and he turns into a Rusev kick. And that, my little friends, is the 3. A highly enjoyable matchup, even if Sanity looked pretty dumb multiple times. It's a C. Match 8, Survivor Series 2018 kickoff show, Raw vs Smackdown elimination tag. Eric joins the match working with Dane to hit a Samoan drop neckbreaker combination on Chad Gable. The pin is broken up. Gable quickly tags Robert Roode and together they hit the Rude Awakening on Eric and just like that it's over. He hit one move, it's an X. Match 9, Smackdown. 3 months later, Ricochet versus Eric Young, who as usual doesn't get an entrance. Young is livid that he's being out-wrestled. He smacks Ricochet down and screams in his face, but Ricochet is straight back up and he catches Young with a head scissors and a dropkick. Ricochet does some gymnastics in the ring now whilst Eric Young dumps in his Nappy of Anger. He returns to the ring and lands a cheap shot thanks to a distraction from the Wolf. Young chokes Ricochet up in the corner and lands a middle rope diving smack. After a very long time, Ricochet fights out of a sleeper hold. He dodges Young in the corner and snaps off a head scissors. Now it's a springboard uppercut into a standing shooting star, which is surprisingly just a 2. Young goes to his old playbook, which doesn't help him as he runs straight into Ricochet and he's sent from the ring. Ricochet hits a crazy dive to Sanity on the outside, and then Ricochet brings him back into the ring and hits another kick and finishes Young off with a 630 splash. This is the definition of directionless right here. Match was fairly okay though, it's a D. Match 10, Smackdown. 6 shows later, 3-on-1 handicap Falls Count Anywhere match. The Miz versus Sanity. Eric actually starts this one and The Miz desperately batters him in the corner. He gets distracted though and turns around into a net breaker from Eric. It doesn't matter because Sanity are getting their asses handed to him. Eric is back body dropped and The Miz even has time to hit him with 10 kicks in the corner. Shane McMahon marches out and tells The Miz it's now a Falls Count Anywhere match. Sanity smack him off the apron. They're useless and pretty much take themselves out. The Wolf almost loses after going through a table. Miz batters Eric Young into the backstage area. He throws him into a metal door. Oh wow, Sanity just looks so useless. Out in a rainy area, Miz drives his knee into Eric's noggin. He then gets a cart and crushes Eric's meathead, and that's the 3. Appalling effort from the 3 men, and the match wasn't good either, it's an S. Match 11, Raw, 24/7 title match. The belt is vacant. The jobbers comically scramble down the ramp, desperate to pick up the vacant belt. I think the first person to land their hands on the belt is the new champion. Wow, I mean, people dump on TNA for the reverse battle royal, but this is just as stupid. How are they all completely incapable of picking up the belt? Young actually has a chance to grab the belt too, but he freezes and gets dragged out of the ring. After a couple of minutes of scrambling around, Titus O'Neil throws Drake Maverick out the ring and picks up the belt. Then Robert Roode pins him and runs away. It's an S.
Oh, man.
Match 12, Super Showdown 2019, 51-man Battle Royal. The Bollywood boys wish they were back in Ring King as they're eliminated first. Anderson is eliminated third, closely followed by Eric Young. I think it was Luke Gallows, but really I neither know nor care. It's an S. At this point, Eric Young was drafted to Raw, breaking up his Sanity faction, which was probably for the best. But it wasn't like the move to Raw was helping either, as he was mostly shoved on Main Event, a C show, where he often teamed up with EC3. I think it was a TNA Failures tag team gimmick. Match 13, Raw, Aleister Black vs Eric Young. These two look like they should be the best of friends. By the way, no entrance for Young, as usual. Young looks 1,000 years old here. Black quickly kicks his legs out and hits a sliding knee to the noggin. Black then hits a nice moonsault and tries to finish it off with a kick, but Young bails from the ring. Young seems terrified, which pretty much kills his Sanity gimmick off. Black kicks him on his way back into the ring. Young fights back, cutting him across the ropes, and he's quickly back down again on his ass though. Black makes him tap out in less than 2 minutes. Another S.
Oh,
Match 14, Crown Jewel 2019 pre-show, 20-man Battle Royal. Eric cleverly fights Rockstar Spud in the early going. That's it, Eric. Find the one person who has less chance surviving this match. Maybe they were talking about the good times of TNA. It doesn't matter because Eric Rowan just hurls Eric Young out of the ring as the 4th elimination. Jesus, this is bad. Match 15, Raw, Andrade vs Eric Young, who looks like Hardcore Holly if he had a tougher life. The commentary team tell us that Eric Young is wrestling in front of his home crowd in Nashville, Tennessee. They just don't care about him, do they? Andrade hits strikes in each corner. Young suddenly rolls over the top rope and tries to dive but gets caught up there. Eric fights him off and lands a diving elbow drop for a 2. I can't remember the last time I saw him hit a move. Andrade escapes a back suplex but catches a clothesline in the corner. Young wants to try something but it's jerked off the top. Andrade hits a running basement dropkick to his head for a 2. Young surprisingly does mount a comeback of a jawbreaker and a clothesline. He even hits the wheelbarrow neckbreaker. Andrade kicks out, so that's his finisher dead. Not that it matters at this point anyway. Young tries to fly again, and once again Andrade stops him. Andrade hits double knees in the corner and kills Eric Young off with a hammerlock DDT. Best match in ages, but it was all a waste of time. It's a D. Match 16, final match, Raw. Aleister Black vs Eric Young once again. I'd like to say it goes better this time, but unfortunately not. This match is even shorter than their last clash. Young quickly shunts him into the corner, but the ref drags him off. Eric Young's desperate attempts to win are stopped when Black sweeps his legs out and knees him in the gut. Black throws a bunch of strikes which causes Young to collapse. Another knee to the head and the Black mass ends the match in just over 1 minute. To think, EY spent decades in the ring just to get the jobber treatment. Game over, another S. Young was released as part of budget cuts as we all got crunched by Covis. Eric Young went back to TNA where they just loved this man. He spent 2 years there before reportedly getting signed to the WWE again, who did nothing with him, and he was released again and went back to TNA again. Eric hated his time in WWE and said it killed his passion for wrestling, and Vince McMahon failed by not booking Eric Young correctly. I will point out that his NXT run with Sanity is viewed as much better than this steaming pile of bird turd. I did not enjoy this run, it was the opposite of my last Ring of the Hawk video. I truly believe that whilst Eric Young is solid in the ring, I just cannot buy him as a believable badass after all the stuff I've seen him do over the years. Eric was completely directionless, leading a pointless faction that were overshadowed by everybody. They did nothing impressive, and Eric didn't even really get any mic time to try and get his group over. That isn't his fault, but we can only grade what we saw here, and to be honest, it was very similar to EC3 in the WWE, except without that promo making fun of his name and being a mute. So yeah, Eric Young in the WWE was terrible, and it's going in the zone. I'm going to wake up every day hating this run more and more, and if you don't agree with that, I'll drop you to the floor.